Hey friends, I have had a day or so where I've kind of been coming through, I think, a little bit of illness, not real kind of like bedridden illness, but just enough that I've felt kind of low energy, and it's interesting to kind of process and to observe what happens to my mind and my psychic space when I'm in that place, because there's this really interesting thing. I just noticed it a little while ago when I was sitting in meditation. It's like I can be very low energy and kind of I feel that way now. I just feel my body wants to sleep, my mind doesn't want to be too active. It's like there's a kind of damper on my physical and mental and emotional, probably, organism. But I sit down and meditate, and there are these moments of stillness that feel almost like deafening stillness. And it's almost as though there's a heightened sensitivity to that deeper energy. And I don't understand that. I'm not going to try and explain that. I think, well, I guess maybe I will try to explain it. I'll try. This has not been based on exhaustive years of research, but I just kind of have this sense that sometimes when the mind and the body are less raring to go than usual, they're also a little less likely to interfere with a connection to stillness. And yeah, I guess that part of it is good news. It's not doesn't feel any better to feel bad, but it sort of highlights the utility of really letting go in the body and really letting go in the mind. And there's so many ways in which over the past couple weeks, really it's been the last, I'd say, week plus, where I've really felt like I could really sense the kind of fine line between being in softness and tilting into hardness, being open and available and present, and then some kind of energy pattern activating and kind of like driving me forward, and it's taking me a little bit out of that soft place. And I think, again, I did a post just a few days ago about softness and about how I'm observing that that's really an important energy for me to embrace right now. I need softness. I frequently it's frequently an energy that I have a hard time settling into. I feel softness in moments, and I feel the release into it really powerfully and profoundly, but it's certainly not habitual for me to remain there. And so, again, I'm just kind of, I guess I'm looking on the bright side of my state right now, because I'm a kind of like under the weather, low energy state. On one level, it's just a simple health thing to be navigated and worked with and healed. But I remain ever convinced that illness and injury, whatever ailments we may experience in life, that they are teaching tools. They are telling us something. They are not just randomly occurring obstructions in our other, in the way of our progress or in the way of our evolution. They're telling us something. And so in a weird way, I guess I'm the penny is dropping right now as I think this through, where I've been feeling a real need to be in softness, but having a really hard time getting there. And occasionally getting there, but then having a really hard time staying there. And one thing I notice about myself, and this is particularly evident in piano playing, softness, more clinically understood, is a form of receptivity. It's a capacity to receive information, energy, vibration, spiritual insight, guidance. It's a way for there to be a kind of streaming process happening between ourselves and our instrument and the source of music. It's like we become a streaming device, and we stream. I begin to stream Chopin into the piano and into the room through the piano, and stream Mozart. It's truly that. But I have to be receptive. Otherwise, I'm manufacturing Mozart, or I'm building Chopin. But that's different. And one thing that I've noticed, which is kind of obvious, but it's still an observation, is that it takes way more energy to manufacture it than it does to stream it. It's just a whole different ballgame. So something like, so in other words, when I'm playing from a truly soft place, there's an ease and an ability for the music to flow without the energy expenditure, or with a far smaller energy expenditure than I generally play with. And so I think when I then am asked to connect the dots of my of a kind of under the weather feeling of illness, low energy state with my ongoing journey, that's what I gather. I gather, oh, well, if I can play from this place, if I can stay in, it's kind of like I'm being forced into softness. I'm not necessarily being forced into receptivity, but I'm being forced into a shutdown of the systems that frequently interfere with receptivity. So I can choose to still remain unreceptive, but I also can choose to allow that interference to go away and to then be in connection in a different way. And the moral of the story that I'm receiving is it's so much easier. It's so much easier than you think. Even these Chopin etudes, which are, some of the kind of technical I don't know what to call it. They're like the school of piano technique in so many ways. They're actually meant to be played with very little effort. They're meant to be streamed, not hammered into the world. So that's what's showing up today. I'm going to give myself a little rest. And then as I start to feel better, I'm going to see if I can retain some of that, as the systems come back online. I'm going to see if I can keep them a little quieter than usual, like not let the health of the system translate right back into, okay, all systems go, driving energy, we're back, see if I can stay soft and receptive. I will update you on how it goes. Thanks for watching, folks. Much love. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.